Today, I have a very special video for all of you. We're going to go and deep dive the top 10 snowboard crash compilation of the best fails ever made, snowboard fails compilation, to figure out what made these crashes so great. And the most important thing, does this video deserve its second like? Let's go and jump into it and see what kind of carnage we can expect. All right, so coming in here, front side, classic wipeout. No serious damage here, but definitely embarrassing for the soul. So there's a few major mistakes we're seeing here. First, very early preemptive rotation with that upper body. This is making him completely compromised, and opening up this much is making him lean really heavy on his heel edge. This is setting him up for a very weak position, and look at how he starts pre-spinning because of it. So now he's pre-spinning and his weight is getting completely shifted towards this back leg. This is all happening because a little bit earlier, he opened his chest. If he would have just kept his chest squared, neutral position, closing off and keeping his weight more set over the balls of his feet, closer to his toe edge, then he wouldn't have got G'd out here. But because this is a steep little ridge, combined with that little bit of pre-spin and back leg, his feet are just coming out and his upper body's going down, resulting in this, I don't know if this one's a legendary slam, but maybe the next one. Ooh, legendary penguin slide though. That was pretty legit. Okay, so this is textbook what you don't want to happen on a jump, and that is having your face be the first thing to hit the snow. Ow. Okay, why did this happen? So coming in, looking a little bit scared, I'm not going to lie. Crouching, and sinking to that back leg right here. That's game over. So this position before wasn't too bad. I don't really like how it's a little bit tall on the legs. See how the legs are a little straight and the upper body's really forward? This is going to make it so he has a lot of weight over that toe edge, so any bit of G's, especially what you'd find on like a little side hit feature like this, is going to really compress you down. But where it really starts to go wrong is right here, shifting the weight to that back foot all the way. This is really where the disaster is stemming from. So because he's shifting his weight all the way to the back foot here, as he's coming up this super kicky feature, it's just going and pushing with it. And now look, we're seeing that little bit of upper body being set over the toes come into play as he's completely over his edge. This is the part of the trick that's giving him the face slam. If he just shifted to his back foot, he would have slammed on his side, but it's that weight forward combined with that that's making it so his feet kick out from under him and he comes in straight to his face. A little more kicky than he was expecting, a little more angle, and because he didn't come in enough stacked over his board with a flexible enough position in his legs, he just got G'd out and bucked. Let's see, does the... right on the shoulder too. That was pretty legendary. Okay, what is going on here? Big slam. What could have caused it? My guess would be 50-50, upper body preemptively open, makes it so the toes click, ends up in this crouching tiger position, and from here, all you can really do is belly slide out. Big mistake is I think it would have been completely fine if he committed to the penguin slide, but because he tried to sloth grab it instead of penguin, he ended up catching his arm and oh my god, making it so much worse. That is worst case scenario. That's pretty good. Oh yeah. So this guy's problem here is the fact that he's riding a battalion. Okay, being serious for a second. It's because battalions are the worst. Okay, I'm stopping. Okay, so he just has a lot of twisting going on in the body. See how his knees coming in here, legs straight, upper body leaned over to this position, and then hips back, and then heel catching. There's a lot going on there. I think he just finished a trick. It looks like he finished a trick, and he's looking steezy to get out. And now he's trying to like shift into a heel side turn, but with all of his momentum going towards his toe edge. So his chest here, his momentum's here, but he's trying to like dig in that heel edge. I think this is an unforced error. He just heel caught himself for no reason. Battalion, you might want to check your board tech. I thought it wasn't supposed to happen for you guys. All right, this one. Okay, so honestly, so much of a jump. Like, let's take a look at this position. Lean position, powerful form, lots of confidence, what I will give him. The issue is he doesn't have enough friction, so he's not going fast enough on enough of a turn radius to hold this steep of a lean. So he would have need to really have his upper body pull forward, more bend his legs, keep himself more centered if he wanted to hit this gnarly of a turn with this little speed. And because he committed too much of a lean, all he can do is straight to his bum. Didn't set down the wrist too hard, so honestly, looked a little controlled, looked easy. Hard to argue that this isn't what the guy was going for. Because, dude, he looks completely in control, if I'm being honest. Anyway, a bit more bend of the legs would have really helped him there. What's this? Oh, yeah. This is pretty classic for a mistake you'll see when people are hitting POW cliff features. What's happening is honestly the same thing as that last clip. He's coming out of his POW slash and trying to redirect his turn. But because he's going and leaning so much on his heel edge, look at how his weight's completely set over those heels. As he comes off a lip, he doesn't try to recenter. So he's riding off the jump. We can see his base coming and his weight's just set way too much over those heels. He would have, in order to have his legs this straight in this position, he would have had to have his upper body way over here to counterbalance it. But he didn't try to counterbalance with the upper body at all, just holding that strong position. And because of that, as he came into the snow, he just matched that same angle the whole way. And if you want to land a steep power thing like this, you need to make sure that you're over top of your board, you're not rotating preemptively. So just a failure of prep. He messed himself up with a POW slash, didn't go and recenter himself, and that resulted in him going and just not being nearly over top of the board enough to ride away with that board angle. So common mistake. Oh my God. Okay, that was criminal. So this is something we see really common when people are learning to snowboard, and that is leg locking himself. So see how he has like a little bit of bend here, but this leg's locked out, and he's going and just rounding to try to keep that center of balance. This is just making it so he doesn't have any micro control in his legs. And now he's trying to change his momentum too soon, and that's just causing that full clip. And honestly, the worst case scenario. So how do you avoid this? If he just went and had a bit more bend in this back leg and a little, like, evened up with this fall wouldn't have happened. It's the combination of trying to go into that toe edge turn too soon and having a compromised leg position that made it so he's susceptible to this edge catch. For anyone watching at home, it's almost impossible to edge catch if you actively are riding in a stacked position. So keeping your weight set slightly over the balls of your feet, legs back, hips back. Here, I'll draw the little position quick. Do upper body here, legs back here with a little bit of bend like this. That's a bad drawing, but from that position, you're rocking back and forth, and as long as you don't try to turn too soon for your turn radius and your sideways momentum, it's going to be impossible to catch. But when you go and straighten yourself up this much, you really need to make sure your timing and control is locked in, or else you're going to be really susceptible to catching your edge. So anyone out there struggling with edge catching, I made a good video on it, and I'll be making some more this summer, but it's all about your stacked form and making sure that you're not relying on straight-legged leaning too much when riding. Here, this is Heelside 50-50, clap, flip over. This happens to the best of us. Heelside 50-50s are a bit of a buzzkill. But basically what's happening here is he's popping too far out of his position, so now his weight is completely set over his heels, and that's just making it so he doesn't have any control. If he wanted to do this at this low of a speed, I would have wanted to see a lot more bend of the legs, a lot more bend of the upper body, so he could go and pop and get that motion without overextending himself. Because when you overextend yourself coming onto a rail, if you don't land perfectly, you're not going to have any micro control left, and slipping out is going to be a serious possibility. Oh, but look at him up there clipping his friend. Good man. Oh, let's slow-mo that. That was nice. Okay. Coming up. Knows he's boned. Oh my God. Compression. That's one of the gnarliest compression to knuckle sends I've ever seen. That was worked. Look at that. Oh, reverse scorpion. Completely crunched. Slushy jumps, big jumps, speed and control is a really hard thing. What we can really see out of this guy is he's not tall, he's not confident. When you're doing something like a backside 180 on a big jump or even a small jump, you want to be tall, having your chest open this way, so that gives you more room to spot the knuckle. But because he's completely squared off and crunched, he's doing two things. Completely absorbing the takeoff, what's eating all of his speed. Second, he's too rotated with his upper body at this stage, making it impossible to spot where he's going. And because of that, he's just passenger mode this whole way. He did a good job getting fully rotated. If you heel caught here, if he under rotated, that could actually have ended in a serious injury. So when it's slushy, when it's a big jump, make sure that your form and confidence is locked in before trying to trick, because you can't have that happen. Well, we got a little powder nose thing, wrist things popped up, so we're not going to review that one. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good crash video. Well deserving of my like. If you want to see more amazing breakdowns of some of the most viral snowboard content out there, let me know in the comments below, and we'll be back at it with another video soon. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.